Hello and welcome to SoulWhat. I am Michelle Welch and I'm here with Roger Welch.
Oh, hi, I'm Roger. Hi.
Hi.
So what's up today, Michelle?
I'm doing well. I forgot to say this is a podcast of Soultopia. How are you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm pretty good. We were actually almost on time tonight.
Almost. Little technical difficulties.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm excited tonight because we have Toni Puhle with us, and she's actually, you guys, I just wanted you to know that she stayed up in Germany. She's up at 2:30 in the morning, and which is, maybe hard for her. For us, we're up usually at 2:30 in the morning, but she's been working
4.
Yeah, but she's been working like so hard on what we're going to talk about tonight. So I'm really grateful that she's on with us. I'm going to go ahead and read her bio to you guys because it's quite impressive, and so excited she's on with us, and that she honestly that she did stay up to all night to be on the show with us. So Toni is a reader, teacher, author, and founder of the World Divination Association. She teaches students around the world the art of card reading systems. If you want to know about cards or reading systems and divination, you have found the right person in Toni. If you mix this in with the Marvel, Minecrafts, and books, then you have a pretty rounded picture of the card geek. And Toni lends her practical and no-nonsense approach to reading and shares with you the science. This is in her book, The Science of the Kipper System. In her book, The Card Geek's Guide to Kipper is the first book in English to share the Kipper secrets that have been hidden in Bavaria for over 2 centuries. Welcome, Toni. I'm so glad you're here with us.
Thank you so much for having me.
How are you doing?
I'm doing great in my little corner of Bavaria here.
So is this staying up to 2:30 out of the norm, or is this a normal for you?
It's totally out of the norm because I get up at 6 a.m.
Oh, Lordy.
So I'm an early riser to get as much done at the first part of the day as possible.
So, according to my parents, that makes you a highly productive person because I'm a late night person. And I was always told that if I'd get up earlier, I would be much more productive. So now I know how you're pulling off this World Divination virtual conference. So this weekend, you guys, we're going to talk about the fact that I've been advertising a lot, probably flooding everybody's Instagram feeds and everything with the World Divination Association virtual conference that is this weekend, May 30th and 31st, and it's the first thing I've seen like it ever.
I must say the amazing thing about it was it came as a spontaneous idea, and I always think that spontaneous ideas work somehow. And I woke up 3 weeks ago and I said we have to do a virtual conference.
So you
within 24 hours, I'd sent you your email, of course, Michelle, and off we went.
So you pulled this off in 3 weeks ago, and then
3
had
weeks.
emails out in 24 hours.
It's only 2 weekends. I woke up on this Saturday, and by the Sunday was when I sent the emails out to speakers.
Wow, that's massive.
It's massive, and the list of people that she has, I'm honored to be on the list. I don't know how I got on the list, but the list of people that she has on the list is also massive.
Yeah.
So you guys will have to check it out. We'll tell you guys, everybody, where to find all that information. But yes, it is. Once you see that, it's over how many people now speaking?
40 speakers we have, and it runs over a period of 48 hours. So almost every single hour there is a live speaker.
And the huge thing about that is that for all of those speakers speaking, it's only $38 US.
That's it?
That's it.
Pretty cool.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Like, I would count myself in the not so smart box if I didn't buy that. Is that a great way to market? Okay, you're not that bright if you don't buy this. No, I'm kidding. But really.
See, she pre-warned you about me.
Yes.
I said he'd say anything. No, but think about it. If you really know what you pay for those conferences, I mean, they're expensive.
I don't think I've ever seen so much value in 35 euros over here in Europe.
Yeah.
And I've spent 35 euros on much sillier things than that.
Right. So I go
That's
to,
actually pretty cool. I mean, if you think about it, pretty good deal. You get to see a lot of
It's a
different
deck.
people because I know we're going to not list everybody, but tell everybody where you can find that list of people. And I know some of the people that are on that list, and that's pretty massive.
Well, let's talk about Toni herself.
Yeah.
I mean, Toni is, when I went to Reader Studio, met you in New York a couple years ago, someone whispered to me, well, you know who that is, don't you? They were whispering about you. Like, you know who
No.
that is. No, I promise you, they did. They're like, she's like the guru of like Kipper and all that. So why don't you tell people, especially those in the States, tell us a little bit about some of what Kipper is and what that system of divination is or card reading is.
The Kipper system is a 36 card deck, and it isn't like your usual Oracle decks. It is a situational deck. So when you lay the cards, you can see a situation shown immediately in front of you. It's not something where you have to pick out symbolism or anything. You see the cards fall in their layouts, and it explains, for example, what's going to happen next week if you ask for a week's read, and it will show you the nitty-gritty things of what happens on a daily basis, what is actually going to happen during your day. So the Kipper deck isn't a deck that leaves any questions unanswered. It basically is lay it, read it, and off you go on to the next reading.
All right.
That's
so
cool.
just Toni herself is worth the price of the admission to this conference, because I'm not kidding. When we were there, that is what happened. They were like, and I think I had asked you, you had a migraine that weekend, and I think it was after that, they were like, do you know who you were talking to? And I was like, well, she's really nice and she has a migraine. And they were like, no, do you know? She's like, So there are a lot of really impressive speakers at this conference, and a lot of nice people too. So
That's a good thing.
Yeah. Before we get into talking about the conference, can we play that little clip? We have the virtual clip, the little video clip that you had.
Okay.
Yeah.
A virtual conference last weekend in May 2020, and it is fair to say that the COVID-19, also known as the coronavirus, has really changed the way we live. It has changed the way we think, and especially the way we travel, and that's why we've chosen to stay connected through the virtual conference with you guys out there. We've chosen the best speakers around the world, and the speakers are so committed to really deliver the best experience they can via the virtual conference we will offer to you guys. The topics include tarot, Lenormand, Tarot de Marseille, spirituality, casting, and many, many more. You will find your favorite speakers all lined up. The schedule is broken down into 2 different time zones. We have the East Coast US on one side, and then we have London on the other side, and that is really for ease of use for you guys. But you know what? I stopped talking now. Choose your favorite speaker, choose your favorite topic, and most of all, enjoy the virtual conference, enjoy the experience, enjoy connecting with your favorite speaker, and if you haven't registered yet, consider doing so.
We got you back. I was praying the whole time. I was like, fingers crossed, Matt. Can you bring her back? You did it. Good job, Matt.
The nice thing about that video is I actually did the first one, which you see playing on the TV in that video. And then the next day I was so finished. I honestly have been working through to pull this together. And my husband's voice, you can hear Jens. And he said, it's okay, I'll do this one for you. So he put that one together.
Oh, I really quickly sent one, so I'm sorry. I didn't know which one to put. I thought that one was really nice. That was nice of him to do that. He's got a nice voice.
Yes.
Yeah,
So it
really
really
nice.
helped me out that day because I was I was on the edge.
Yes, I can imagine. I probably put you halfway there. It's like I did.
No.
Put you halfway there. I couldn't even figure out what time zone. I was like, are we St. Louis time zone? I can't figure
I
out.
can't.
She had a calculator out trying to figure it up.
I had to I had to Google them. I've Googled so many, even for tonight, I've Googled it a million times just to make sure I'm on time.
Yeah. It's complicated.
Yeah.
Yes. So I think that probably the biggest thing I want people to leave with is to know the easiest way to sign up.
The easiest way to sign up is through the World Divination Association website. It's www.worlddivinationassociation.com, and you click on virtual conference, and right there is the sign up button immediately. And the speakers, what's actually exciting me the most, the speakers are already in the conference group and they're already practicing, and the excitement in the group with only the speakers, 40 of us, it's already an atmosphere in there that's really heating up.
Yes, it is, actually. It's very exciting. I'm excited for all the topics. They're very, very interesting. A variety of topics.
We have everything from tapping through to astrology. There is, I think, and you're speaking about connection as well. And we really have covered. I thought we would be very Lenormand tarot, and it's morphed into more of an open divination, spiritual type conference, everything under one hat. And we also have business peeps in there as well, people who can help you grow your social media reach in the spiritual business realms. So there's a real wide range of speeches or lives that we have going.
I like that.
That's nice.
Yeah, the whole approach. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I think that if it's easy to sign up. It's not a lot you have to do. I signed up. When I signed up, it literally was just click a button, fill out a couple things, mm-hmm. and it was one of the easiest things I've signed up for, to be honest. It was just very simple. And nothing is simple for me to sign up for, right, Roger?
Never. Hope there's no passwords involved.
Well, yeah, I am a password. Those are my nemesis, correct?
Yes. She needs that little fingerprint deal where you just plug in a fingerprint and it automatically logs in for everything.
I don't know. I've watched too many shows with that. Somebody might
chop your finger off.
Slice my finger.
No.
Yeah. I don't think that'd be a good thing. Or eye
scanner.
No, I've watched too many of those. I don't know what James Bond movies.
You see what she's doing at night when she's up, instead of sleeping.
James Bond movies or something. Yeah. So. Yeah.
So you read the Kipper cards. What else?
I read Kipper. I also read a whole range of cards, but I really focus on Kipper cards, Gypsy cards, Lenormand, the 36 card decks, and playing cards. So really, and the interesting thing, or what I find interesting, I don't know if anybody else does, but I learned most of these decks except Kipper before I moved to Germany. But then when I landed in Germany, I've been here 12 years now, or 13 years, and even my Lenormand reading has morphed into a German entity now. The way they read here is a super predictive fortune telling type way, rather than the advice type reads. They're very practical in their predictive reads. So even my Lenormand has also morphed into a German style read, if you like. added on to what I had before. So I really focus on the practical, the what's going to happen in the coming 12 months.
That's cool.
That's interesting because I talk a lot about that. I actually do predictive readings, and so with whatever modality I'm using, and that's why I got into this, is just because my whole thing was more of a, I was that child that said things I was not supposed to say to people. So mine, it's whether it's crystals, this pen, or I'm just closing my eyes, and that's been mine, and I just happened to fall into all the modalities because of that, just so I could actually have something tangible, and I just love to learn. So tell us a little bit about the gypsy card readings.
The gypsy cards are a 36 card deck as well. I released my own deck last year, I think it was. The Piatnik deck is the major deck used in the Austrian and German regions, and it's the deck you probably see with the 4 different languages at the bottom. Oh, so cool. People notice it because it has the 4 different languages just for the name of the cards. And they famously come with very little instructions, and the images on the cards tell you what it is. Theft has a thief on there, for example. So it's very simple imagery. Again, clipping on the Kipper cards a little bit, a situation where we can see situations in the cards. And it's another one that you would read with your 36 card GT, if you so wish. And it really is that predictive read that here some of the families still do on a Friday afternoon. It's a routine. A Friday afternoon is when you sit down and lay for the coming week. And gypsy cards, they have simple concepts in there like marriage and obviously love. We all need a bit of love in our lives, but simple letter. It's very simple and simplistic in its artwork. It's very simplistic in showing a situation that will come into your life, and it doesn't really leave room for wide interpretations. You don't get these long flowing spiritual reads with a gypsy card deck. You would just say, you'll go next week to the supermarket and you might catch an eye of a guy that's behind the counter, for example. So it's a really simplistic but effective read and it's a very quick read with gypsy cards. You throw them down, you answer the question, you move on. It's a super bam 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 style read with them.
Interesting.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Nice. So in Germany, because we actually met some people like from the UK and stuff, and in UK, divination, psychics, things like that is very open. It's like really popular. How about in Germany? How popular is it there?
Germany, it is getting more. Germany is like the States. We have different states within Germany, and each state is very different. So I live in Bavaria, which is a super conservative and super Catholic area to live in, which is where the Kipper cards came from. And there's so much history on that, of the Kipper cards not having religious symbols in there, for example. It all works in this area in that tarot still has a bit of an undercurrent to it, a little bit of bite to it that leads the population, the conservative population, to think, I don't really want to know what's going to happen there. But then when a Kipper deck fits in with daily life, so that's not hitting on any spiritual, I don't know how to say it, but it doesn't upset the spiritual balance, is perhaps the best way of saying it. So the decks, the oracle decks, are becoming more and more popular here. Tarot is popular, but it's not what you see elsewhere. It's very, isolated somewhat.
A little more
They're very
underground.
spiritual here, though. They are super spiritual. It's just conservative spirituality. So it's a very different.
Well,
beat.
because I have a lot of relatives from Germany, and when they all came over, they would talk, and they just don't talk as openly about spirituality or even religion. That even though they were all, I think almost all of them were Lutheran ministers. Many of them, if they weren't in politics, some sort of politics, my relatives from Germany, they were Lutheran ministers. My whole heritage that my parents got to know, and on my mom's side that I was telling you about earlier, and it's just different in that they don't talk very openly about those things. They're very private.
I think that's why the Kipper cards are so interesting to the public here, because they really don't hold any imagery that could be linked to anything. I mean, you have a picture on one of a living room, and it holds the quality of a living room, your internal space, but it doesn't conjure up any ideas of astral traveling, for example. It's a very practical deck, and it fits into Bavaria in particular. It fits into this area of, well, religion is something that we all respect and we all learn, but it somehow is kept separate to spirituality. Then it's a weird mix somehow.
Yeah, they were very, they had that, but they were just very private about it, and it was a very something that you just weren't very openly talked about, and you're just very respectful of those boundaries. It seemed, and they would talk to us about that. It was very interesting to talk to them about that. So I bet you, I would imagine that would show up in the cards. It's getting more open here. We're from Texas, so I mean, it wasn't always open here at all, and it's just even our stores lately have just been as crowded as they're allowed to be at this time. But virtual readings and virtual things have become much more popular, I'd say, over the last 5 years, 10 years. I mean, because if there's ever a place in the United States to gauge whether it is gaining in popularity, it would be here. But
Definitely
it is
here.
the tarot cards, I would say. Oracle cards would be palatable. Started off with angel cards, they were okay with angel cards, and they don't really care
anything that doesn't have the devil on it.
Now they don't care.
Yeah,
now they're fine. They can have whatever. But maybe 10 years ago it had to start off a little softer. But how much time do we have?
Oh, you got time.
You got
15
time?
minutes or so.
Okay. So we kind of keep flipping back and forth between topics. But I guess I want to talk a little bit more about this weekend because I'm so excited about it. So I want to hear about how you pulled it off so fast. How did you? Yeah, right. So how did you had the inspiration to do it and you just did it?
I am someone who, my book was written the same way. It hits me, I have an urge and I have to do it. And it can sometimes be my downfall because I then act super quickly. But I spoke with Jens and I said, and he said, wow, it sounds like a great idea. And then that was it for me. It was like, okay, he said it's okay, so it must be. Yeah. And it was a sanity check. So I did a sanity check and then I said to him, but how quickly do I really need to do it? And he said, by the end of May. So that was my then push. And the reason we said the end of May, it wasn't to force things at all. It was because everybody's at home. And thank goodness in Germany, we are starting to move forward. We are starting to go back to work. My boy went back to school this week. So we're all coming out slowly in Germany of the home environment. And the end of May was then, okay, maybe our last chance then that everybody's at home in one place. So let's do it.
Yeah.
And how did I do that? How did I manage it? I sent out all the emails. I did that was the worst, the schedules, the time zones, the schedules. I can't even think about it anymore. And I am just keeping my fingers crossed that everybody's in the right place where they should be. If they're not, it's not the end of the world. But so I just did it. I think it was just a case of not stopping until I did it. And I just boom, 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 until it was in some kind of semblance of order. And yesterday was the day where I said, okay, I think we have all our ducks in the row. I think.
I'm sure you do.
And
you've had no time to fret about it, because usually if you give yourself too much time, there's time to just overthink and overwork something, you know?
Well, I think it was a case of just getting on and doing it, but also not showing anybody else that I was underneath panicking on any level whatsoever. So I think that helped me. Oh yes, I definitely have it in order for everybody else. And it kind of dampened the the panic a little bit. And then yesterday, when I realized that we had the schedule done, we had the imagery done, we had all these amazing people in one place, because I was worried about getting them in the group, all these moving parts, and we are there, I think. Yes. Unless somebody else throws a spanner in the works.
Unless somebody Unless somebody else throws a what?
Spanner in the works.
Oh.
Is that not something you say there?
Throw a wrench in the works.
Oh, well, you know, I always mix all my metaphors and stuff, so who knows?
She mixes everything up. The best is when she's doing a wedding and calls it a funeral.
Oh, so I do. And his son graduated last weekend, and I said, "What time's the funeral?" I'm like, I always say the wrong names for things accidentally. I don't think they're funerals. I don't think weddings are. Well, sometimes weddings might be funerals, but you know, sort of, but. Not always, but I accidentally, I have to say it over and over and over again before I do, because I'll officiate weddings every now and then, and I don't want to accidentally call it a funeral, but it has happened. But he's actually pronounced.
One time I mispronounced somebody's name at the wedding.
You know how you say, welcome, our bride and groom, welcome Mr. and Mrs. So-and-so. I don't know if you do that in Germany, but Mr. and Mrs. So-and-so, and they're friends of ours, and he mispronounced their names.
It's because she kept hammering me on it before the wedding. I had it down pat, and she kept asking me over and over and over.
I said, say it, and they know, because they're probably, if Kate's not on, but I said, you know, it's Carrasco, like Costco. It's Carrasco. And he goes, welcome, Mr. and Mrs. Carrasco. And everybody out in the audience went. And I thought that his dad was going to shoot him from the audience. And I said, and also, welcome, Mr. and Mrs. Carrasco. And then everybody died laughing. So they'll always remember that, right? Yeah.
Hey, the hand fasting, I got it right.
Yeah, he did hand fasting, and he actually did it correctly. So that's what I thought we'd mess up, but that went perfectly. We just, botched the name of the happy couple to the whole, congregation.
It happens.
It happens. Hey, but I got Puhle right.
Go.
So we're good. Do we want to do some readings?
If you want to.
We always
Does anybody want a reading, you think?
Well, of course they do.
Oh.
Yeah, of course they do. Why don't we see? Toni said she'd read, and so, right? She's got the cards ready. So let's see. Sometimes, Toni, Roger reads with this. It's a magic 8 ball. But this really funny thing about it is...
It's accurate.
It's accurate. This is Fred. Meet Fred, the magic alien. The magic alien 8 ball. I can't even see it, the answers. I don't even know how you get it to work. Do you have to turn it on? Oh, no, it is. There it is.
You just turn it over.
Do you have a question, Toni?
How's the conference going to go?
Okay. Very likely.
There you go. See,
It's very likely.
Very likely.
it's very likely it's going to happen.
How's it going to go? Very likely.
Very likely. Perfect.
Very likely. I take that as a great from Fred. Fred speaks alien, so. All right. So
All
we
right,
have.
so yes, you got some people on here. Lori wants a reading.
So how we do this is I call them lightning rounds. So we just the person's name we're reading for is Lori. We don't use last names. So are you okay if they don't have a specific question? Are you okay with
Absolutely.
Are you okay with that, Toni?
Yeah.
So it's just a general.
We usually just pull a card and whatever comes out.
And if you need to pull more than one with your system, you can do that. But we just do it a pretty quick read, just something she needs to know, and just set whatever intention. However you do that, we just do that in our heads. I just kind of say it for generally speaking, that it's going to be for whoever we're reading for. It's for their highest and best good. And then if you can set your own intention, however you do that. And so this is for Lori.
Yes.
Okay. And I will be reading tonight with the our friend Chrisanne's deck. She self-published this, and then Hay House picked it up. It's called the Light Seers deck. And what will you be reading with? Roger will be reading with the Bianco Nero deck.
Oh, I love that deck.
I love that deck too. We were kind of arguing over it last week because I read with it.
Because I bought this deck. And she said, I already have that deck. Baby, you already got like 500 decks. So it's
do
kind
have
of
a lot
hard for
of
me to go
decks.
buy something that you don't already have.
And what will you be reading with, Toni?
Kipper, the original 1920s version.
Ah, okay. All right, so, and we're reading for Lori. Would you like to start, Toni?
I can start.
Okay.
Lori, I don't know if you had travel plans before we all went into lockdown, but we see some negotiations going on with regards to travel and with regards to an older lady. It seems like there are some expectations on travel or an expectation for you to go somewhere. And there are going to be some negotiations around that and really getting down to the nitty-gritty of whether it can actually be done.
Perfect. You want to go, Roger?
Go ahead.
Okay. So, Lori, I see that you have, it's interesting because you were talking about travel, Lori, and I see Toni, and I see, Lori, that you are contemplating something and you're looking out at some flags, actually, and I see it actually on this picture of you, it being you, is the Queen of Swords. And you have put something off. Could be that travel, tagging on to Toni's reading. You've put something off, you're thinking about it, you're contemplating it, but your nurturing aspect, the nurturing aspect of yourself is sort of questioning whether or not, and it looks like it might have been international travel. And that's what I'm seeing in the cards, that it might have been not a stage travel in the States.
So it might be short and sweet. Well, not so sweet, but if you are doing that, don't do it because the cards I got said don't do it.
Okay.
There. Because you don't want to know what I pulled.
Okay. Roger, we call him the no BS reader. My friends will call him Toni, and literally, and it's usually love advice. And I'll just hand the phone to. We'll usually be driving down the road. I'll just hand them and almost always they're friends of mine, not clients. Just not my clients are friendly too with me, but it'll be like a personal friend. They'll go, I need to talk to Roger. I'll hand him the phone, and I'll have him go, no, and hand the phone back to me, or he'll go, yes, and he'll hand the phone back to me, and I'm like, what was that? And I pretty much always know, and that's his answer.
You know my favorite one?
Don't give confidence.
I didn't.
Okay.
It wasn't a paid reading.
Oh, well, still, you can't. What are you talking about? It doesn't matter.
It was the one. Okay, never mind.
No, you can't tell that. He can't tell that. Okay. It's usually no. and gives back the phone to me.
So the
right,
next
so
one
here-
is Marcus.
Marcus, okay. And so obviously Roger does yes/no readings.
Me too.
Yeah, me too. Have no problem with them.
Well, if I can start, we have some actually great cards for you, Marcus. We have an offer coming in. If you are expecting any offers or not expecting any offers, there are offers coming in. It can be promotion-wise, but it also can be financial in nature. The offer that's coming in might not actually be exactly the amount that you are hoping for, but it will be a great amount. So it'll be an amount that you're happy with.
You're up. I know, you always like to go last.
So Marcus, the problem is for you, I see you have a lot of choices out there, a lot of things happening. And the problem is you need to set aside your indecisiveness and actually pick something. It's almost to the point you have too many choices going on that you can't decide what you want to do. So you need to start narrowing all those down and really focus in on like one thing.
Okay. Yes, I always say choices are good. You know, you have options. That's always a good thing, I think. Right?
Yeah, it is a
Yeah,
great thing,
it's,
but you need to focus on them.
Yeah. So, Toni, I'm not really trying to tag along on all your readings, but it does seem very much the same. I got the Six of Pentacles first. I love these cards. We'll just show a couple of them. And I'm reading a little different than the traditional meaning for you. I do get that it's almost like money's just falling in your hand. It's not the give and take of usual or anything like that. It's more just falling in your hand, but you have to be willing to receive it. And it may be that it is quite a bit, but at the same time, you might have a tendency to be a little discontent with some aspect of it, of how you're receiving it. So I don't know if it's not coming in a form or way that you were expecting, but it's some aspect of how you're receiving it is what I'm getting from it. And so so that's a little bit like Toni's reading. I don't know about how the options the choices play in, but it may play in with that too. So, okay. Want to do another one?
Sure. Carla would like to know about Camille.
Okay.
About what?
Camille, and I will go ahead and, do you want to know about Camille? Because I know who Camille is. Do you want to know?
No, I just
Okay.
want to know what he wants to know. What does he want to know? Her intentions? Kipper's great for that. That's why I'm asking. Does he want to know what her intentions are or what?
I think she wants to know about the health of Camille. Camille is, yeah, so the health of Camille. And Carla can correct me if I'm wrong on that, but I believe that's what she's wanting to know. And I would use the cards on that one. What? I'll go first so I don't tag along onto you on this one, Toni. So, Carla, you're in your head about it a lot, and I think a lot of what you're thinking is on track. I do still see some of the in-between realms. Okay, so I do still feel like we're in a struggle for Camille. I don't think she's completely out of the woods yet, but I do think that you're on the right track with Camille, is what I'm seeing. Do you want to go, Toni?
May I ask if Camille's older?
So I can tell you, I think I can answer that. Camille's older, and
The reason I ask is in Kipper we have an older lady card.
so Camille is a dog, and I do believe it's an older
Okay.
female dog. Yes.
Okay, well, the Kipper can be really precise with people and relationships, also with animals, of course. And I would suggest that the owner, sorry, I didn't take the name, but the owner is thinking an awful lot and thinking the worst.
Mm-hmm.
He thinks that the worst case scenario is actually behind him, but isn't really getting rid of that in his thoughts. When I look at Camille has a not healthy, maybe the wrong word, but has a stable body. So her actual body is working well now. So it's on its way to a healing state. In front of her, we actually have something that would suggest, it can suggest breakages. So it's something at the front, as it's difficult with a dog, obviously, but something at the front of her body is actually, it could be stiffness in the joints, for example, or something along those lines, something that's not quite healed, and it will probably not heal 100%. So it will stay at a certain level of what we would consider. I've got 2 broken fingers that I broke 2 years ago, and they never really healed back properly. So it's that kind of a stable situation, but with something that's not 100%, but that she can live with.
Yeah.
Sorry, that was long.
No, it's, yeah. Roger?
So I just see that there's a lot of contemplation, a lot of deep thought, a lot of almost to the point of kind of anxiety, depression happening. And you need to really, even just for yourself, Carla, you need to really take time for yourself about this and really not stress it out too much about it, and address it as what it is, and taking care of you, yourself, and her, and and don't let it get too far for you. Okay.
Yes, I agree with that. I told her just that the other night. That she's taking on a lot of the energy, and it's affecting her health also. So I agree with that. Love you, Carla. So, all right. Anybody else? How are we on time?
Oh, I don't know. No earthly idea.
Okay. Well, she's up at 2:30 at night.
Yeah.
So we need to watch the time.
So we were like at 43 minutes. So.
Okay. So we take just
Do one more?
do one more.
Okay,
Yeah.
so let's go.
Thank you, Toni, for helping us.
Let's go with Monica.
Okay. So does she have a question, or is it
Nope.
general? Okay, so no question. This one is a general reading for Monica, and this will be our last one. And these cards are thick. Same as that card. Toni, do you want to start?
I did a short Kipper read, and we have an older gentleman in the mix and somebody who you are super fond of. He may not be being 100% open with you, or you feel that he isn't being 100% open with you, but he has very fond thoughts of you too. So it's a two-way situation, even though sometimes you feel that you are in it on your own.
Very good. You want to go?
So I got the King of Pentacles and the Two of Cups, and I actually see the same thing as what Toni said, but I think you need to really guard yourself off on this because of the, it could be a little bit more one-sided relationship type of interest. So just kind of guard yourself on it.
That's not what Toni said at all.
Well, as relationship driven, I just
Okay.
the guy might be a little more sly.
Oh, okay. All right.
Could be a little sly.
See, I got that.
Sly on the side.
Oh, Roger. See, okay, so I got Monica, I got something, and I feel like this is a different person that we're talking about, that I'm reading about. It feels different to me, and it feels like it's more watching the balance. This to me has to do with, again, what Roger just said, somebody being not so honest about some things, and money kind of going in and out, and watching that flow of honesty and money, and just and keeping an eye, kind of sleeping with one eye open on a situation that's going on. And I don't think particularly that it's the same person that they were referring to. I think it's a different situation, and I feel like that situation you still need to keep an eye on. It's something that's been going on for a while. And I want to draw another card on that, because I want to see what the hope is for that. The hope is to be able to talk to people when you need to about that situation, because it's in your head a lot, and that's why I didn't want to leave you with that situation. That whatever that situation is, it's constantly in your mind, and you're playing tapes of it over and over and over in your mind. They cannot turn off, and it keeps playing on a loop in your mind. And it's good just to get beyond the fear of it and just speak it out to someone, so that you can move through the fear of that situation that I'm referring to.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Go
Good.
and fly on the side.
Stop it. Okay. So we're going to say again to sign up for the virtual Worldwide Divination Virtual Conference this weekend. Thank you again, Toni, so much for staying up all night to talk with us.
Thank you for having me.
I know you have
I
a
am
lot
honored.
Yes, it's going to be amazing, and I know you have so much work to do. So you can go to, tell us again exactly where to sign up, would you?
WorldDivinationAssociation.com, and click on virtual conference, and then you can see all the speakers there, and it is just one click away from purchasing.
Yes. And like I said, it's very easy. It's not like you have to pick which one. And one thing we didn't say is that once you sign up, for the whole week following, you can watch. So
That's true.
Yes, so
I'm doing a special one on the Monday to close us down. I'm throwing in an extra hour on how to read Kipper. So if anybody's interested after seeing the Kipper reads, I will be doing that on the Monday.
Oh, that's cool.
See, there you go. I told you.
That's it.
Yeah, and remember that right there is worth the $38 or US dollars. So I was thinking every time I drove through Starbucks, I spend $8.
And you drink about
And
this
I don't
much
even
of
drink
it.
coffee. I drink.
She drinks about this much of it.
I drink tea. I drink chai tea latte. And
I tricked her yesterday, though. I got her a French vanilla hot chocolate.
Yeah, it didn't trick me at all. I drank a sip of it, and I asked him later. He goes, I got you at Racetrack, is where he goes. And I said, and we moved into a new house, and they tore down the racetrack.
You know she doesn't know what a racetrack is, right?
Okay, well, there's this like quick
It's a
shop.
gas
It's like a
station.
gas station. And they tore it down, Matt, right when we moved in to remodel. And you would have thought that they built, I don't know what, the most
It's close, it's easy.
amazing thing the other day when it reopened. He was like, Racetrack is open.
They've got great iced tea.
And he's like, it's open. It's like a kid at Christmas, like got the best toy ever. And I was like, well, I guess we're going to Racetrack. And then he comes out and I go, do they have any, chai tea latte? Because I don't get anything from Racetrack. And he said, no, but I brought you something really special. And he goes, it's French vanilla. And I go, French vanilla, what? And he didn't say anything. So later on in the day, after I'd had my one sip of this French vanilla drink, I said, is that coffee? And he said, no, because I don't drink coffee. And I said, it doesn't taste like chai tea latte, venti hot with an extra pump of vanilla. It doesn't taste like that. What is it? He goes, hot chocolate?
Hey, at least I thought about you.
So anyway, I was like, no, that will not do from the racetrack. I will be going back and spending my $8. So if you think about it, 8 times what? 4, and you've already paid for this conference. 4 coffees or 4 chai tea lattes.
4 chai tea lattes and you paid for it.
All right. Well, thank you so much. And I want to thank everybody. That's it for this week. You can listen to SoulWhat on Spotify, the iHeart Radio app, Google Podcast, iTunes, and of course by watching live on YouTube at Michelle Soultopia and on both of our Facebook pages at SoulWhat and at Soultopia Holistic Boutique. Thank you for listening to SoulWhat, where we discuss and you decide what is important for your soul.
Good night, guys.